Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Brian Jester, co-founder here at Occupy Fantasy. About to watch a replay of our Tuesday night Twitch stream, The $1 Million Mission, Week 6 edition, where I review my previous week's 150 max NFL DFS lineups from FanDuel and DraftKings. We talk about a lot of high-level strategy for NFL DFS tournaments. We're very transparent. We show my results. We look at what other successful NFL DFS tournament players did in their lineups. And then we looked at the $1 Million winning lineups on DraftKings to see if we can glean any information from their lineups that we can apply to our own process. Now, I encourage you to watch these Twitch streams live every Tuesday night, twitch.tv/OccupyFantasy. That way you can ask questions and we can go in depth during our responses on the stream. We don't go into picks or predictions or anything for the upcoming week. We spend these 30 or 40 minutes each Tuesday night talking about high-level strategy. That way you can take notes and apply the information that we talk about to any NFL DFS slate that you play. So twitch.tv/OccupyFantasy is where you can watch these live every Tuesday night. Take notes and enjoy.
What's up, everybody? It is Moose and Brian here from OccupyFantasy.com, at OccupyFantasy on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and YouTube. I'm Moose at CFB_Moose here on Twitter, alongside Brian at Brian Jester FF on Twitter. What's up, man? How you doing today?
What's up, Moose? I am doing good. I'm pretty tired, actually, but I'm feeling good. It's this is the day we turn over into the new week, right? Normally, most people's days start on Mondays. Ours really kind of starts on Tuesdays.
Yep. And get the models rolling, check our results, do all the other stuff like that. Dot Bets, what's up, man? Thank you for the subscription on a 2-month streak. And I don't know about you, Brian. I think you like some K-pop. But Twitch has a lot of K-pop emojis now, and so I am loving that.
Oh shit! Yeah, of course I do. Yeah, anytime we can Korean barbecue, put some K-pop on the screens. Yeah, it's a good time. It's a good Friday night.
Always. Yeah, I can't wait. I'd say that's one of the first places I'm going once vaccine life is here. I'm going straight to the Korean barbecue place.
Absolutely, yeah, I do miss that. I gotta say.
Yeah, absolutely. But we're not here to eat Korean barbecue, unfortunately. Here to talk about your 150 lineups from last week. So if we go ahead and let's jump right into it. I also saw Ken in here as well. Awesome. Let's jump into it. Let's take a look at how you did on DraftKings. I know you said that you played light. 1350 in entries, 644 in winnings for a minus 52% ROI.
Nice. Very, very bad. Actually, this probably average, right? I would say.
Probably, yeah.
The median outcome every week is probably this.
Yep. And for FanDuel, 666, don't at me. And entries, 376 in winnings and minus 44% ROI.
Yeah, I literally only played and this may be some discussion for contest selection. I only played the $4.44, the $4.44 millionaire on FanDuel this week. The $9, they lowered the entries and they lowered the top prize to $50K while keeping it a really top-heavy payout structure, and it didn't seem worth the risk to me. And I had the two big tickets that I was playing, so most of my focus ended up over there.
Yep. Thank you, a bunch of numbers, for the subscription through Prime. I appreciate that.
Someone just subscribe with their phone number.
Yeah. What's up, Ed? What's up, Clary? Bismo says, yo, chicken pad thai season. I don't know.
Yes, sir. Always pad thai season. was that commercial, Moose? Now that have you pad thai lately?
Yeah, you can talk to your doctor about pad thai. Pad thai has pad thai.
That shit comes on during all the primetime games. It's crazy.
I love it. Let's see here, and then we take a look at how you've done year to date across all the different sites. Year to date, $17,000 in entries, 19.4K in winnings for a smooth 13% ROI.
We're still in the green. Let's get it. Still in the green.
And if you look at it from a chart-based perspective, that chart's way too small. Let me make that bigger. Again, thank you, Bismo, for making the chart.
Hashtag BizCharts.
BizCharts. Yeah, so cumulative entries, like you said, a little over 17,000. Winnings 19.4 for 13% ROI, which isn't bad. I would say any investment that gives you 13% ROI is pretty good.
Yeah, if I finish the season 13% ROI, that'd be great. Or finish the year 13% ROI. Honestly, what's probably going to happen, this chart is going to continue to trend back down, and then it'll spike back up, and then it'll trend back down. and then it'll spike back up. Just really praying that one of those spikes are off the screen here.
Yeah, absolutely. So as we go here, we're going to talk about your entries, your 150 max, all the different stuff like that. And so if you guys have questions, how Brian made his lineups, how other people made their lineups, any other type of questions, how you can make better lineups, or if you're already great, expand on that. So let's jump into it. Clary says, how much does BizCharts pay you to say that on air? Stock shares?
Yeah, Biz slides. It's a 20 under the table before every Tuesday night stream, and we have to say Biz charts at least 3 different times. So I think we've hit it twice now. So
That'll be the new commercial. Instead of the pad thai commercials, be BizCharts.
have you talked to your doctor about Biz charts?
Yeah. Cool. All right. I realized I didn't switch tabs. So we have over here the Fancylabs Contest dashboard, and we'll go over here. I don't know why it just freaks out every time I first go to it, but we'll go to the slant, which is where you play.
So this just so everyone's aware, we always do this every Tuesday. This is the Fancylabs Contest dashboard, fancylabs.com. This is one of their free tools. It's a fantastic tool to research GPP strategy for any sport that they have data for. You can look at what all the top players do. Before I start 150 max in any sport, I always take a look at what the top successful players do and what their strategies are, figure out why they work, and try to apply that to my own research and my own strategies. And it stays the same. Like it continues to evolve. What worked 4 years ago probably won't work 2 years from now. So we always got to keep checking these every week, seeing what's going on, and trying to spot trends ahead of time.
Absolutely. As Clary points out, slant is the best 150 max out there, to my knowledge, if you can afford it.
Yeah, so I really try to. This is the best one. It's a 2 times min cash, so $9 entry fee. If you get top 20%, you get $18 back, which is pretty rare these days. And then the top payouts are all evenly distributed. It's pretty great. You don't see like 50% of the prizes go to first place.
Yeah. And a good question here from Ed says, I need to figure out how to not talk myself out of stacks. I was all in on Houston, Tennessee, and then Sunday morning switched to Tampa Bay, Green Bay.
Yeah, I mean, that's tough, man. Tampa Bay, Green Bay was a fantastic stacking opportunity, right? It's hard to turn that down. 56-point total, a lot of underlying metrics pointed to it being one of the best stacking games of the week. But then I guess if we saw Chris's conviction on the Sunday morning Periscope, we all probably should have just made 150 Houston, Tennessee stacks.
Yeah. Yeah. And what's your thought about that, Brian? Whereas, let's say if you have a stack and that's one of your game stacks, you pick, all right, Houston, Tennessee, or whoever in this case. Sunday morning rolls around. If nothing changes, do you ever talk yourself out of, maybe I should play this stack instead? Or you kind of just, hey, this is what I went with. Nothing's changed. Let me just stick with what I have.
Yeah, so I mean, I normally build my lineups on Thursday. Or sorry, not Thursday, Christ, Saturday. And I'll read what Chris is putting in the plug on Friday night. And generally by Friday, I'll have a pretty good idea of what stacks I want to use. Saturday, I'll finalize. And then something major would have to change Sunday morning for me to change my stack, whether it's, a weather and big total drop or like a major injury. But most of the time, once I have that locked in Saturday, not much is going to be able to change my mind. And it's not like a take lock situation. It's just, there's not much that can change from that high level to make me want to swap off a stack.
Yeah. Claire makes a point. That game had a nice total and less ownership, so not horrible. It's just Brady kills DFS lineups nowadays.
That defense, I mean, that was a frustrating game because it looked like it was gearing for a shootout. Green Bay gets up 10-0 right off the bat, and then just literally everything unravels, and they run Ronald Jones about 75 times. So yeah, it was frustrating. Green Bay couldn't keep up the pace, and as a result, Tampa Bay didn't have to force the pace. So it pretty much ended up as the worst possible game stack. In fact, I had 2 entries into the $2,000, $222, so the 2222 GPP on FanDuel. One of my lineups literally finished third from last.
Oof.
So, and it was the Tampa Bay Green Bay stack. So it just goes to show. And it's funny, it's a couple of people talking to me, learning how to play tournaments and stuff. And a buddy of mine who just started playing DFS pretty recently, I told him, if you're going to play tournaments, here's how to stack. Here, to taught him the basics we talk about on this show.
Yeah.
And so Sunday, he's like, damn, 2 of my lineups really sucked, and 3 of my lineups cashed pretty highly. And I was like, that's pretty good. And he was like, oh, all my bad players were in one lineup. And I was like, well, yeah, that's also the added benefit of stacking too, right? Obviously, if they all go off, then your lineup goes higher. But if one sucks, it's likely they all suck, and it's not like your bad players are spread along all your lineups. It's really those cluster of lineups that get dropped. So it gives you a better chance of, if your stack hits, hitting near the top of the leaderboard, because if you have a stack that doesn't go off, it means the whole lineup's going to suck regardless.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's take a look at some of your high-owned players in here. Actually, leveraged players. Darnell Mooney, 20% leverage. Philip Lindsay, Calvin Ridley, New England defense, John Hightower, and Teddy Bridgewater, and MVS were all people above 15% leverage to the field.
Yeah, it should be no surprise here that 4 of these were underperforming receivers. Mooney and Hightower specifically were super cheap. And as always, just based on the pricing, stacking on DraftKings is pretty expensive. So we always need cheaper players to fit in unless we're doing some crazy cheap stack. And as a result, we're always going to need some sort of super cheap running back or multiple cheap wide receivers. Fortunately, this past week, there were, 4 min-price underperforming receivers. So that was easy choice. And then Philip Lindsay thrust into a starting role. Super easy choice there. This week, just looking ahead, moves at the underperforming receivers. No real value players. So it's going to be interesting creating lineups on DraftKings this week.
Yeah, very much agree. And Ken says you didn't play enough T. Higgins.
All right, thanks, Ken. Should have told me that Sunday morning.
and Clary, Mixon's so underplayed in DFS. Dude has 45,000 touches so far.
Yeah, dude. Dude's getting a crazy amount of touches. Not very efficient, but he's getting the touches. They're just running him into the ground.
Yeah. Let's see. Eagle says there is a formula for an adjusted ceiling that I was skeptical about at first that scored me 227.9 this weekend. It involves taking your target score you're trying to achieve and divided by 50,000 on DraftKings. Then that number is multiplied by the player's salary to tell you the needed score for that player to get you to your target score.
Yeah, it's nice to know, but you still have to pick the players to get you to 227 points.
Yeah.
Right? It's good to know what you need, but basically how I look at it, you need every player to have the ability to score 25 points. When we had Jack talking about his 50K win, that's really the easy threshold, right? Obviously, you can have a 3K player that gets you 10 points and helps you get there. But every player you put into your lineup should be able to score 25 points. If they can't, they probably have no business being in your lineup.
Ed says, anyone notice the announcer said Rashad Higgins almost all game? I was so tilted, so I looked at all the announcers were just dumb.
Announcers are making all kinds of mistakes. I'm not even going to chalk it up to COVID rust. They're the Monday Night Crew especially is just horrific.
Just hashtag bad announcers only.
Yes. Yes, that's what we've been getting lately.
Yeah. So then if we look at some of the people you went under leveraged on that you still played, Thielen was really the only big play that you had negative double digit. Actually, the only play you had double digit negative exposure, negative leverage on. But it looks like you weren't too far away from the field on players that you played.
Yeah, Thielen, I don't think I played him outside of game stacks. Love the game stack, obviously, but he's been overperforming mostly, I think by 20 fantasy points or so. Granted, tons of opportunity for him, but he's been scoring touchdowns at a pretty unsustainable rate. So I really only wanted to use him if he was going to benefit from everyone else in that game going off, which is why I used him in game stacks only, and as a result, end up under the field. But not even by that much, so it wasn't even that big of a deal.
Yep, definitely. Cool. Ken says 3% full on Cooks. Did you stack Houston, Tennessee?
So you'll love this. I did not stack Houston and Tennessee on DraftKings. I stacked Tennessee on FanDuel, and that is it. That's a big reason why my ROI was negative this week.
Ouch. All right, so Eagle says, yeah, he uses that formula and a couple other things, and that goes into his pool. Yeah, I can definitely see something like that doing to figure out your player pool.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. That's fair. Yeah. That's fair.
Cool. Let's see here, and then taking a look at how some of the game stacks you did. Looking by here, what game stacks did you pick? I know you said you didn't do the Houston, Tennessee, and then what was your justification about it?
I'm trying to think back now on why I didn't. Why did I? I'm trying to think why I didn't. So I definitely stacked Atlanta, Minnesota. Definitely stacked Tampa Bay, Green Bay. Oh, and then a lot of metrics on my end were popping up Carolina, Chicago, and they were cheaper. and I thought this was a great way to differentiate a little bit. I like the idea of stacking them, just because I could fit in more expensive players elsewhere. Obviously, didn't work out, and in hindsight, I probably should just read the plug and play the 3 stacks in the plug.
Absolutely. Cool. Perfect. All right, I just saw this here on Twitter. Completely irrelevant. What? Not trying to get political. AOC is playing Among Us, and she has almost 500,000 people watching. Jesus.
Well, so wait, so what is Among Us? I keep seeing this. I'm so old. I don't even know what it is.
It's kind of sus. No, it's like it's like a group of people playing in a spaceship, and one person is an imposter, and you have to figure out who that imposter is.
It's kind of like Mafia, right?
Yep.
In real life. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
I see we got Lingby BK fan in here with the Bob Ross emojis. That's what's up.
Nice. Ed said, "Did Chris hit 6 for 6?"
Yeah, he did. Of course he did. Yeah, Chris definitely hit 6 for 6. He's been crushing it. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Who knew Dallas offense would be completely tank without Dak?
Yeah, go figure, right? The guy who's a $50 million a year quarterback, masking all the flaws of the offense. He gets taken out, and you put in an underperforming veteran. I don't even say underperforming, appropriately performing veteran. Yeah, all the negatives of the offense appear.
Yeah, Ling BB fan. I'm sure our 20 Raiders will help out with 500,000 views. That'll be fun.
Yeah, right. It would start spamming Occupy emotes in the AOC stream.
Cool. All right, so let's take a look at what some of the others. Who won this? Let's see.
Real quick, Moose. Athlete Ed wants to know how high I was on Alexander Madison. Look at my leverage on him really quickly. Yeah, I was high. I mean, he was high on high volume running back. We're supposed to be. They got fucking freight trained in the first half, and so it took him out of the game. So that was a miserable outcome.
Yes. So you had 24%, and the field had 25%. So you're basically even with the field.
Yeah, that's about what I wanted to do. I didn't like him like that much more than say Mike Davis or Derrick Henry or Philip Lindsay or whatever. If there's a slate where I really like those types of guys, or there's only one or two, I'll go way over the field. Just wasn't the case this week.
All right, I think Ken's kind of sus. Just pointing out stuff that just triggers us. AJ Green back on the underperforming wide receiver list. One more week.
Yeah, he's back.
Yeah, one more week to really back in along with Kenyon Drake.
Kenyon Drake, he's not fooling us. No, not fooling us. I know he ripped off that long run at the end of the game. Well, we're smarter than that. We're not falling for Kenyon Drake's antics.
Cool. All right, so let's see. Let's take a look at the leaderboard. Is that Blender? God, my eyes suck. Blender HD hit it with 77 entries. Have you noticed? I know that this is, you say, more of a sharper contest. Do you notice a lot of non-150 maxers playing this? Like, you see in the Millionaire Maker, you see a ton of people put in 1, 2, 3 entries just because why not? It's Millionaire Maker. Do you see something like that with the slant?
Yeah, decent amount. Not as much as the Millie, obviously, just based on the price point. And it's interesting here, Blender HD, we follow each other on Twitter. He's the one who said, "I am his spirit animal," which was like a weird tweet. But he thinks about game theory in a similar way. So I'm curious to see what he did with his lineups with 77 lineups.
Yeah, cool. So let's take a look here. So 77 entries, 85 players in his player pool, and his highest owned players: Mike Davis, Devontae Adams, Irv Smith, Dave Montgomery, Miles Gaskin.
And what was his winning lineup? Was it a Atlanta Minnesota stack? I think.
Yeah.
And his winning lineup was, I'm looking here, Matt Ryan, Derek, and Mike Davis. So yeah, Mike Davis was great. None of his other high exposure players ended up here. But again, it always takes some luck to win these tournaments.
Yeah.
But yeah, like he overloaded on a couple of guys, and those guys ended up in his winning lineup. Either way, it's still a pretty good outcome for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely great. So great for him. Awesome Blender HD. The top prize is what, 50K to first?
50K, yeah. 50K for Blender HD. So
nice.
He can add it to his funds, and hopefully I can get up him and continue to cement my place as a spirit animal.
Absolutely. Yes, and Ken points out Ricky D, 1 million won the Millionaire Maker, the 2 games showdown, unique. So shout out to him too.
Yeah, again, I don't know Ricky D's full story. I mean, obviously super pumped for someone to win $1 million freaking dollars.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just, we both vividly remember his tweets last year about the mental aspect of it, getting down, like the massive swings he was dealing with in NFL in the negative direction. So to see him get the $1 million, hopefully it puts him in a pretty good place.
Yeah, definitely. Let's take a look at what some of the top people did in the Millionaire Maker. All right, we got the 1 entry person, Wacky Uncle. Good for him.
His lineup was so sick. It was the sickest lineup I've ever seen. It was so amazing.
Let's see. Matt Ryan, Derrick Henry, Ronald Jones, Julio Jones. Got the Jones stack.
Yep.
Justin Jefferson, MVS, Hayden Hurst, DeAndre. That's a goddamn great lineup.
Yeah, dude. He hit every single great player, and then even flexing DeAndre Swift. You can tell it's a one lineup entry, right? When he flexes the early running back and left Ronald Jones, who played at 4 o'clock in just his regular running back spot. We digress. Just an unbelievable lineup.
Yeah.
And a 3x1 stack, right? Yep.
Let's take a look. The person who finished the highest with the with 150 lineups, Hogzilla. Let's take a look at how he did. Forgot this other earpiece doesn't work. Hogzilla. Let's take a look at him.
Yeah,
So
he was.
104
This poor guy wasn't first for the whole time, and then Ronald Jones overtook him late in the 4 p.m. games.
Oof,
Yeah, it's rough.
that sucks. Let's see. So he had 104 players in his pool, which is a little on the higher side, but hey, if it works for him, it works for him. Some of his highest leverage plays: Devontae Adams, Mark Andrews, Kareem Hunt, James Robinson, James Conner. So not
Literally none.
Yeah.
Literally none in his winning lineup. Yeah, crazy.
That is wild.
Crazy. So yeah, it looks like, again, it takes luck to win $1 million. And I'll say this from experience.
Yeah.
It takes luck to win $1 million. But it seems to me, at least through 6 weeks of looking through this so far, that a lot of the winners have been extra lucky in the sense that their core plays haven't really been hitting, or their plus leverage plays haven't really been hitting, and that it's been their just some of their lower end lineups that don't have their core plays making it to the top of the leaderboard. And that's part of the beauty of building 150 lineups and taking advantage of that. So again, it's been interesting to see that though, and I think you're in a better spot if your core goes off, and if your stack goes off with your core, you're in an amazing shape.
Yes, totally agree with that. Anybody else you want to look at? Or you just want to start looking at the general metrics?
Let's look at the general metrics really quickly. We have 7 minutes. We always hop back in here and look at some other players if we want to.
So, duplicate lineups. This lineup was duplicated 125 times. Fitzpatrick, Madison, Montgomery, Thielen, McLaurin, A.J. Brown, Trey Burton, Mike Davis, Minnesota defense.
Yeah, basically all the values, right? Fitzpatrick was underpriced. Madison was in a good spot. Montgomery was underpriced. A.J. Brown was underpriced. Trey Burton was underpriced. Mike Davis, perennially underpriced. So this makes sense. This is definitely an optimizer lineup.
Yep, absolutely. And then the second most one, what were you saying?
I will say, Bismo said in the chat he was nowhere near Ronald Jones. And I think it was, if you played Ronald Jones initially, you got lucky. If you were smart enough to somehow pivot, then you're really smart, because we got Leonard Fournette news pretty late. And there was the expectation all week that Leonard Fournette would be back, take some touches. But the fact that he was out ended up with just a massive role for Ronald Jones. I can't remember exactly when that news broke. I don't think it was before the 1 p.m. slate, but I can't remember.
Yeah. Also, did we give free tacos because Mookie Betts stole a base? I'm seeing that on Twitter. I don't know if that's valid. So if someone can...
I think Ed added everybody in Discord, so I do think that's the case, yeah.
Nice. I will be going to Taco Bell tomorrow to claim my free taco. I will take 1 taco, sir.
Please. Yes, I'll take 1 free taco.
It's just not even anything in it, just to give you the taco shell. Oh, shit, I gotta go on the 28th? That's bullshit.
Yeah, you got 8 more days.
Yeah. Bunch of numbers, guy. With scoring up and all the 50-plus totals, are 4-1 or 3-2 stacks looking more attractive, or are you locked into 3-1 for now?
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting conversation to have. We should probably talk about this for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've seen more 4-1s and 3-2 stacks hit, especially in smaller contests. And I think we talked about this last week that probably is the optimal approach in smaller contests, just because it's less that you have to get right. If you hit that game stack, you only have to hit a couple more spots to get into that top prize. For these larger GPPs, you have to hit pretty much every single play in addition to your game stack. And we'll have to see. As pricing continues to adjust, as totals continue to adjust. It's still too early to definitively say, but I think in this upcoming week 7, where we only have I think 4 or 5 true underperforming receivers, we'll have to check out how the running backs look. But maybe this is the week that you 3x2 stack, as there aren't as many underperforming receivers to take advantage of.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. All right, so it looks like it's 28.
Because you want 3x1 stacks so you can fit in the underperformers.
Yep.
But if there aren't that many, maybe you go 4-1 or 3x2, because you're not trying to fill up all those spots with underperforming receivers. So I think this week's a good idea to try it out. And again, it's still a little too early to figure out, but these are one of the things that we have to try to be ahead of the field, not behind the field. But even though we still see the field doesn't stack properly often enough, even a year or two after discoveries are made. So even if this does end up being the case, these 4-1s or 3-2s, by the end of the season or even next season, we'll still be able to take advantage of it.
Yep. Spirals, why did DeAndre Swift all of a sudden blow up?
Yeah, usage was exactly the same, basically. The one difference was he got a couple more red zone opportunities than he normally does, and he picked up 2 touchdowns off of that, which obviously helped. And he also he busted a 55-yard run on a hole that was about half the football field wide. So nothing really changed. Just a fortunate outcome for him based on the usage he was.
Cool. I want to say this one, I guess this is an optimizer lineup, was actually smart enough to do it was a 4 stack, but hey, it's still stacked.
Did it?
Yeah, Kirk, Madison, Thielen, and Irv Smith.
That's a crazy ass lineup. 4-0 stack. That's wild.
Yeah. And then let's take a look at some of the salary distribution. Okay, let's talk about that. That seems wrong. Let's see.
Yeah, that's definitely wrong, right?
Yeah. What is that? 30. I don't think 30% of people used. 35% of people used 500 or less. That seems wrong. That seems
that's probably wrong. Yeah.
All right, cool. And then last, we'll check position usage. 47% of entries use the wide receiver at flex. 45% use running back, and 8% use a tight end.
8%, so a little less than normal, actually.
Yeah.
This is the slant too, though. There's the millionaire. Yeah. That's a little less than normal. Yeah. Interesting.
All right. Let's see. Willie says, "Are you custom stacking 100% of your stacks?"
I personally am, because I'm a psychopath and I like that control. I don't think it's necessary, especially if you choose your stack pools properly and carefully. I personally do it just because I want that even distribution.
Cool. Are you guys confident Jefferson can be consistent every week after the 42-point outburst?
I mean, consistency is overrated in fantasy football generally. Especially at receivers. The range of outcomes are so wide. But it's literally him and Adam Thielen in the passing game. He's getting a ton of opportunities, and he's going to have the opportunity to score a bunch of points every single week, so it's hard to ask for much more than that.
Yeah. Random Rules says, I'm not sure if it's evidence-based, but I heard someone, maybe Sigmund Bloom, talking about rookie wide receivers hitting stride around week 8. Have you ever looked at such a thing?
I personally haven't. Sig Bloom, obviously one of the godfathers of the fantasy industry. Love listening to him talk, especially from like a philosophical level. Always good to hear his takes. I'm not sure. I mean, we look at Jefferson; he's hitting his stride in week 3 or week 4, and then we look at some receivers who just never hit their stride. I feel like it's something that's probably hard to pinpoint. You're better off just looking at the underlying uses to see if we can predict an outbreak.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Spiral says, have any of you guys had any massive wins this year?
Not yet in NFL. I had obviously we talked about the 10K last week, the $10,000 win, which was nice and got me into the green. Had the big golf and UFC and League of Legends wins for $50,000 this year. Still looking to repeat Moose the 100K or the 250K or the 1 million from last year. So fingers crossed.
That would be pretty nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, our members have been doing well too. Ken had the 50K win. A couple other members is doing well as well. So
Yeah.
we're crushing it. Occupy's getting there.
Yeah, for sure. Occupy is always at the top of the leaderboard, it seems, especially on FanDuel.
Yeah. Let's see. 937 is your underperforming wide receiver metric part of the model or another FPOE type stat?
Yeah, it's actually part of the model for sure. It gets put into the wide receiver metrics for sure.
Yeah. Let's see. Eagle says Jefferson has also had some good matchups though.
I mean, I guess that's true, but when you get the opportunity like he does and as good as he is, like he's going to take advantage of it. So
yeah. Spiral says I've been thinking about signing up, but when will you add the ability to sort the model by value plays?
A couple people keep asking this. I would just, if you want the model, you just use the salary filter. Just use the salary filter to look at the cheaper plays, or just sort by OF index and pick out the guys who are cheap. Plus, the idea of value is mostly overrated when it comes to making lineups. And also the daily plug points out the values. So, we do as much as we can without overloading you.
Yeah. Cool. Mookie apparently did something.
The Dodgers trying to secure that dub.
Let's go, Dodgers.
Jay Markham has a question, Moose. Do you add players who aren't low/high risk players in your pool? I think Chris covers most of them. I will add, especially on DraftKings, maybe some cheap guys that aren't listed. But yeah, I mostly stick to that player pool that Chris lists out in the plug, which ends up being the icons in the lineup builder for sure.
Cool. So, any last questions while we're waiting on that? Because I know there's that little bit of a Twitch delay. If you have any last questions, we got it here in about a minute or so. I'll wait. Brian, I'll ask you this. I'm going to try and cash this $3 ticket at the sportsbook tomorrow that I've been trying to cash for like 4 straight weeks. Over under number of people that will be in line when I get there.
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
I think you're good. I don't think it's gonna be 10 maybe. I think it's gonna be a slow day tomorrow.
Perfect. 937, you guys are killing it. Your channel is a hidden gem. I'm happy I found it. I appreciate you for the support.
Thank you, 937. Appreciate it. Thanks for subscribing.
Eagle says, who's your top stack preview this week?
I think Kansas City scores about 700 points this week, so I really like them and their matchup. I think they're 10-point favorites and the total is like 56. So I think their implied total is like 35 points or something nuts. So yeah, they should blow up this week.
Nice. So, all right, guys. So that'll do it until Saturday. Or are we doing anything Friday?
Yeah, so we're actually going to be live Friday night, the rare Friday night stream, because UFC 254 is this week. It's a big UFC slate. So, and for some reason it starts at freaking 10 a.m. on Saturday. So we're going to be here Friday night previewing UFC. We haven't done a UFC Twitch stream in a while, so we'll do that Friday night. And then Saturday, while we're watching the fights, we'll do a little NFL stream for you guys.
Perfect. Cool. Yeah, so until Friday night, Moose and Brian from Occupy Fantasy. Again, hit that follow button if you like what you saw. Go check out the website. Sub if you like that as well. But until Friday, Moose and Brian from Occupy Fantasy. Peace out.
Peace.